Well, good evening, and God bless all you kind, wonderful people. Sorry I didn't get this tune out to you yesterday. That was my intention. But I have been so inundated with all these requests that have been pouring in since I opened up the request line. Um, I've had to, I dealt with the first one and sent that out and got some very kind, sweet remarks, especially thank you so much, Beth West. You're such a dear. Um, just bless my heart. And that was how great thou art. And now I've gotten to the second of two total requests. This one is a request from a good old high school classmate and friend, Mike Riggins. He and I went to Isaac Litton High School in Nashville, Tennessee together. And Mike has requested a song called The Filling Station. Now, that's not familiar to many of you, I'm sure, but I think to some of you it will be. And it may even come back to some of you who didn't know you were familiar with it and have actually seen and heard it performed. Because it comes from a stage play, a bluegrass musical comedy called Smoke on the Mountain. And the other thing Mike and I share, besides being high school classmates and all through the years and other schoolmate years, is that we've both performed Smoke on the Mountain many, many times. We've just never performed it together. We've also both performed the sequels, Sanders Family Christmas and Smoke on the Mountain Homecoming, but again, never together. Mike has worked at different community theaters than I have with different folks, and so our paths did cross on one play many years ago that I directed and was in, and Mike graciously drove over to Woodbury and performed in it. But we've never done this one together. And now I've since got out of this bad habit of musical theater. I think Mike still may still be doing it, but he's kind of hard-headed anyway, and not the sharpest tack in the box either. But good fella. Anyway, Mike always played the pastor, Mervyn Oglethorpe of the Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. And I always played Burl Sanders, the head of the singing Sanders family, who had been invited by Reverend Oglethorpe on a June Saturday night in 1938 to come to Mount Pleasant Baptist for the first ever Saturday night singing. And this is the first time the Sanders family have been back together in 5 years, and they're all ecstatic. And this song, The Filling Station, is like many of the songs in the show. It follows a testimony that I think are often comedic and moving, or both. And this one follows Burl's testimony, in which he's telling the folks about the filling station that they own up on Highway 11 out of Mount Pleasant there, and how he's also been remodeling the house by adding a screen porch, or adding on to the house by adding a screen porch, and but that with all the competition and the depression and all, business is really falling off, and he's really worried about his business and being able to make a living and especially finish that screen porch. And he's real tempted when the beer man comes by to start selling beer in his store. But he overcomes that temptation with the help of his dear wife, Vera, who called the beer man the devil. And he shoos that beer man away. And he just turns to everybody and says, we'll just have to wait a little while for the screen wire on the porch. But anyway, the hard part of this, of course, is I had to dig around for the music and the lyrics, which I have misplaced and don't have anymore. And it's a little difficult because this is an ensemble show. The Sanders family sings and joins in, not just Vera, my wife, but Dennis and Denise, my singing twins, and my oldest daughter, June, who doesn't sing, but she signs for the Deef, and my dear brother, Stanley, who has that wonderful, beautiful bass voice. Well, this song is like so many in the show. No matter who has the lead in it, the rest of the family is joining in with harmonies and oohs and ahs, and in this case of this song, an echo. In other words, when Burl sings a lyric, the Sanders family will repeat that lyric. And there's a part where there's just a solo little phrase by Stanley. With his beautiful bass voice. And I have none of those, family members available to help me. Now, to a less skilled and less adept and less brilliant musician, that would be a problem, doing this ensemble song with all these parts and as just one person. but it's really no problem for me. See there, I'm already playing. Because I can so skillfully and adeptly put those other parts in where you won't even know I'm doing it. You won't even see it happen. You'll just be amazed because it's going to come out of nowhere, and I'll just pull this song off. But I'm willing to do it because my philosophy in life is the worst you can ever do is fail miserably, and I never turn down a request except stop, aka shut up and leave. So here we go. Sorry I talked so long there. Well, people used to talk about the fire. Back then they had a great desire to see God's hand at work in the midst of them. But it seems that since I've gotten older, folks' hearts have grown a little colder. It's time to get our hearts filled once again. Bring them in to the filling station. Let them get a taste, of good old-fashioned true salvation. Bring them to the spout where the glory flows out. It'll make them cry, it'll make them shout. Everything's free, it'll never run out at the filling station. I can see the world a-tumbling and a-searching, a-looking for an answer that's certain. It's up to us to share God's love with them. Go out into the hedges and the highways, share the love of Jesus with the unsaved. Go out into the nations, no more hesitation. Compel them to come in. Bring them in to the filling station. Let them get a taste, of good old-fashioned true salvation. Bring them to the spout where the glory flows out. It'll make them cry, it'll make them shout. Everything's free, it'll never run out at the filling station. Oh, everything's free, it'll never run out at the filling station. The filling station. See ya.